Hello, Internet. Welcome back to another edition of Eric's Corner with the word of the not so wise. I'm going to, again, talk about the border crisis, which has been, every administration we've had for 5 decades. I did do a video, but it was more on a personal note as to why I, for some reason, owe it to people for them to be here. We can't just bring the whole planet to America and just solve the world's problems. The Texas Border Patrol put razor wire up. The federal government said take it down. KJP said, well, that was for the safety of the Border Patrol agents. I mean, well, what about the connexes that Arizona put up that you made them take down? Is that for their safety, or the buoys they put in the river to keep people from trying to get across? Well, that's for their safety so they don't drown. They pull hundreds of people out of that river a year. And that's just... I just don't understand that philosophy. Razor wire and fences were fine to protect Biden's inauguration, but then when it protects us, the people, it's just this horrible, horrendous thing. Just like guns, as long as it's protecting them, it's fine. They've basically backpedaled into this philosophy of the enemy of my enemy is my friend. Because we the people are the enemy of the government, and the unchecked people pouring, a foreign invasion obviously is no friend of ours, but government goes, oh, well, we'll just take them, pin us against them, and then it keeps us distracted from what they're up to. I mean, they couldn't have possibly dropped the ball this bad without it being intentional. I think it was Socrates. I saw a post. I don't know if he actually said it or if he was in Socrates or whatever, but said government would prefer illegal aliens because they're going to them for help and they think the government's great. Whereas us, the people, are going, no, we're tired of you embezzling all of our tax money and becoming rich with your social programs. Government, the Constitution and our rights have done a way better job protecting government than protecting us from them. I mean, it can't possibly be just to get voters. I mean, because these people aren't supposed to vote. Do they give a shit about voting? I mean, it doesn't seem like it. They just give a shit about being here. And I called them out in another video about, the sanctuary cities. Well, DeSantis sent a couple busloads of them up to Martha's Vineyard, and they couldn't round them up and get rid of them fast enough. They sent the National Guard after them. And, they sent federal agents to Texas to tell the Border Patrol and the Texas National Guard to stop protecting the border. That makes absolutely no sense. And like 10 or 15 states have deployed their National Guards as well. I mean, a big civil war that pseudo going on right now. I really don't want to see law enforcement and first responders pinned against each other. That makes no sense. National Guard funded by the state, or some, it's going to be federally funded also, but the states apparently writing their checks, because if the federal government doesn't supersede the states and the governor's orders to do something, then apparently they don't have the power to do so. And, the federal government can't deploy the military against us, or at least they're not supposed to. But I do invite you, if you are in the military, I am asking you as a friend, you are following unlawful orders. You cannot, if you want to deploy the military to the border to stop this invasion, because that's what it is, then fine. But you can't have National Guard going against active duty. But, as a veteran, I am giving you a direct order. I mean, I'm asking you nicely, but I'm also giving you a direct order. You need to stand down. Trust me, they cannot do anything to you. They can throw you out, whatever. But if you do decide to start shooting at our own people, the average E1 to E4 in the military, I mean, you join the military for some kind of leadership and direction in life and so forth. But, the military just sees you as expendable. And if you're following unlawful orders and you're getting taken out because of it, I don't know what to tell you. So And I don't understand how it's not even illegal to be here, because you still get a driver's license and vote. Apparently, anything the left says as far as voting, they're doing to put in their own advantage, lowering the voting age. Oh, there can't be voter ID. And we've all seen the philosophy of, well, I got to have an ID to buy a car, buy a house, buy booze, etc., but don't have to have one to vote, which is weird because I have to show ID when I go to vote. So you don't have to have one. Makes no sense. If I walked in and just said, I'm Eric, I want to vote, even though I'm in a small community and these people know me, they're still going to say you have to show ID, go back to your house and get it. Not going to pull am I being detained? What law have I broken? Like you guys like to do when a police officer approaches you for some reason. But that was, again, another video. So we basically got a one-party system going on now. When Democrats said if Trump gets elected, it'll be the last Democratic election you'll ever have, is what they were really saying is we're going to make sure we win from now on, which is what they're doing. So I don't know. I'm not quite sure how they've made such a mess out of this. And I don't know why it's okay for Mexico to have a huge border wall, for Israel to have a border wall, but for us, it's just the most horrendous, unhumanitarian thing we can do. It's like Trump said, you don't have borders, you don't have a country. And they're talking about passing bills like, oh, well, illegals are going to have, free medical care. Well, what about me? I don't have free medical care. I mean, I have VA medical care and I have health coverage through my company that I pay for. So I don't understand why they just have more rights or more given to them than people that were born here and have been paying taxes here their entire life, whose parents have been paying taxes their whole life, whose grandparents, great-grandparents, both sides on my lineage, I go back 4-ish generations in America. And when they came here, my ancestors came here, they came here legally, and they wanted to be a part of the American dream, not just sponge off of a system, which is what's happening. So, yeah, I mean, this isn't really how I saw a civil war kicking off, but who's telling all these people to come here, and why are they all my age and younger? I mean, if we had a bunch of women and children trying to come here, I'd have a lot more open arm policy. And what is going on in Central America? Is there a war there going on that I don't know of? Is there mass genocide? What's going on there that all these people are refugees? And what if we had a major problem here and we had to flee to our southern border? You think they'd let us in? No, we got to take care of our own people, right? We can't support you. I saw a video somebody made down in Mexico City, Mexico. And he was like, stop coming here. You're screwing up our economy. Oh, boo-hoo. You know what these are? These are violins playing fucking My Heart Weeps for You. Because I don't know why America has just become an alternative international homeless shelter. I mean, our big cities are in shambles. And I just don't know. And they're trying so hard to unseat Trump. I'm not like a huge pro-Trump guy. I'm just very anti-government. And the fact that both parties in the media are terrified of him and had to get rid of him after his first term because he showed you what a bunch of dipshits you've been voting for 5 decades. And that's what got people really upset, I feel like. We got the Biden economy right now. If Obama had such an amazing economy that he gifted to Trump, and that's what made the Trump economy so wonderful. Biden's been in 3 years. Didn't he ride shotgun for that whole administration? Why hasn't it gone right back to at least where it was when Obama was in? And Trump does manage to get in again, which he's winning big by absolute landslides. You're never going to convince me that all these people turning up to vote to get Trump as our primary candidate, you're not going to convince me all of a sudden all those people aren't going to turn out to vote. And I already did an episode about these massive spikes, and if the charts and numbers were reversed, you'd just be throwing an absolute fit if Trump's situation was what happened during the Biden election. So I think, do whatever it takes to protect yourself, self-preservation. I just talked more about doomsday prepping, and I never really thought about it being like an invasion because you can't really invade America. Well, yeah, you can. And military and guard and federal and state employees or law enforcement swore an oath to the Constitution, defend against enemies, foreign and domestic. Well, domestic enemies are a tyrannical government. That's what we're talking about here. So that would be a coup if the military took over. And again, I don't understand how we got federal agents saying, oh, well, I'm protecting against foreign invasion by insisting on letting these people in. And they got other people saying, no, I'm protecting by keeping them out. And now they got to go at it with each other. You know, all you feds, you got to stand down, man. I do not want to see you guys getting shot at. I mean, and shot up. I mean, I feel like a lot of people that join these, take these jobs as Border Patrol, federal agents, generally when they join, their heart's in the right place. And I see a lot of people join the military. I want to serve. I want to do something big for the world, but they get in too long and they just kind of drink the Kool-Aid and just start, okay, well, whatever, the military is going to be ran how it's ran. I blame all military leadership on just letting standards just chip away at the military. It used to be like-minded people joining for one reason, and now it's, well, I just need college money. I just need to not go to prison. I have no job opportunity. So many people that I was in with, it's like, wow, we just differ on political issues so much. And I think that was more the goal of lowering the standard, was getting a uncohesive military, because they have done a beautiful job of absolutely wiping it out. And, there's a recruiting crisis. They're down 30% across the board. They tried to get a bunch of soldiers back in, tried to get 5,000 people they kicked out that wouldn't take the shot. And I think like 25 of them or something went back in. Everybody else just said piss on it. And these are people that had probably been in 15, 16, 17 years, real close to retirement. And just, I mean, that's probably the handful of people that went back in. It's like, well, I'm going to knock out 2 or 3 more years and get my retirement, which is understandable. So I just do not understand how we've just pushed so far away from all moving in one direction, having one common goal. And they do a very good job of moving the goalpost. As soon as things start to get better, it's like, well, hang on, let's expand. It's like, well, we got to maintain where we're at for a little while, then we'll work on expanding. Every time they have a new tax, like when pot's legal, and they say, well, we should get this much revenue, so we're going to use that money for this. No, balance your old budgets first. And, put that money in places before expanding it to frivolous social issues. Fix the goddamn roads. So, I mean, I guess militias have deployed. I mean, if I was closer, I'd probably be there myself, load up with supplies and be there in my deuce and a half. It's something fairly well armored and so forth. But yeah, I mean, I guess that's all I got for this round. Let me know what you think. Thank you for joining me, and smash that subscribe button. I'm almost to 100 subscribers. If I hit 500, I can get a couple bucks for doing this, and I can make you way better videos and, upgrade my set a little bit. Put some scrap hardwood floor down here. I can make it a little better and, do you some better videos. Anyway, thank you for joining me. That's it for me on the border crisis.